Hi, I'm Amara.
Hi, I'm Bukola and we're the owners of Love and Make. Thank you for joining us today for another fun activity. If you're new to our company, we're a DIY company located here in the Rice Village area, and we teach you how to make a lot of cool stuff. Like our signature candle class, we do bath bombs, and of course soap making. Today we're going to be doing melt and pour soap, but we also do all type of soap making as well. I'm going to let Amara tell you a little bit about that.
All right. So today we're going to be doing our signature melt and pour soap making workshop. So in soap making, there's all different types of soap making that you can do. There's cold process, there's hot process. Usually people like to start with, if they're new to soap making, they like to start with the melt and pour method, okay? And you can see our finished product here. We're gonna be doing a simple, fun design. You can do this with the kids, you can do this on your own. It's a nice intro to the melt and pour process. These little cute soaps are using a clear soap base along with a goat's milk soap base that we colored in purple. And we also added little embeds, so you can see little toys. I've got a little Hello Kitty, I've got a little unicorn here, and we also embedded botanicals in them as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So by now you should have received your soap making kits, and in your kits come all of this fun ingredients. So this is a melt and pour soap making workshop, meaning that the soap base is already prepared for you. And today we're using a mixture of two different types of soap base. We're gonna be using a clear soap base and also a goat's milk soap base. You have your melting pitcher or funnel, a little stirring rod here. You're gonna be able to choose two colors, and these are little mica dyes, okay? These are micro pigments. You'll be able to choose either toys. So if you have kids, right, they'll be able to choose fun toys. So you'll choose one packet of toys, or you can choose these fun botanicals here. So we have a variety of different botanicals you can choose from jasmine flowers, lemongrass, calendula petals, all different types of botanicals you can choose from, or dried flowers. Also in your kit will be one bottle of alcohol, and you'll choose one fragrance. You'll also be able to choose one mold, okay? I'm gonna have Bukola come over and help us chop up our soap base, and she's gonna show you how to chop that up, how small we want it. And each one of our pitchers should hold close to about 1 pound of soap base. All right, so we've chopped up our soap base, our clear soap base, and we're gonna take it over to the microwave along with our spatula here. And the thing you wanna remember about melt and pour soap making is that it probably will take about 2.5 to 3 minutes to melt down this. It's probably a little bit less than 1 pound of soap base, but we don't want to go ahead and put it in for 2 to 3 minutes. We want to put it in short bursts. So I'm going to start by putting it in the microwave for about 45 seconds. Okay, so we've just pulled this out of the microwave, and it's pretty well melted. All of the chunks have dissolved. And if you happen to have a handy dandy temperature gun, you can check the temperature. And I'm at about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a really nice temperature when you pull it out. Now I'm not gonna add color to this, because remember, we actually wanna put our toys or our botanicals in here, and we want them to show through. So I'm not gonna add color, but I will go ahead and add fragrance, okay? So we have pre-measured fragrance here, and since we're doing two different soap bases, I'm gonna add half of this. I'm gonna eyeball it and add about half of this fragrance to the base here and mix that in really good. So remember that we want our botanicals and our toys to show through. I went ahead and chose some cute little toys. I've got the Hello Kitty. This looks like a little ghost with a bow and a unicorn. Some really cute toys I'm gonna add. And then I also chose, these are some of my favorite botanicals. These are jasmine flowers. So I'm gonna add some jasmine flowers. So the thing to remember about soap making, if you're going to use a mold like this, is that when it pops out, the bottom actually becomes the top of the soap. So that's why we want the toys to show through. So we're actually going to pour in the clear soap base first into the bottom, which will become the top of our soap. So I'm going to pour it in about halfway. So I'm going to pour it about halfway. All right. And then here's where your alcohol comes in handy. Alcohol is really important. You see those bubbles that kind of came up on the top? The alcohol will release those bubbles. And then with our toys, what we want to do is go ahead and add them face down. Because remember, the bottom becomes the top of your soap. So I'm just going to drop that in. Position that. I think I'm going to do a Hello Kitty over here. And got to do a unicorn, of course. All right. Okay, so we just poured our first layer. It was the clear layer, and we added our toys face down along with our botanicals. Okay, so now we're going to get ready. While this is curing, you want to get ready your second layer of soap. And the magic of television, I already have our second soap here, which is this is our goat's milk. So I already have that melted down. And I want to go ahead and add my color to it first. So we have our little packets of mica dye. And I usually like to dissolve my dyes, if they're in powder form, in a little bit of alcohol. So I'm going to take one of these little cups here and maybe spray the bottom of this with alcohol. And the reason I like to dissolve it in alcohol, just so that it doesn't clump up. Okay, so just go ahead and add color. As I add the color, I'm going to be using my spatula to mix it in. We're going to pour the rest of our fragrance in here. Okay. Back in our mold, we want to test to make sure that the first layer can hold the second layer. And so what I usually do is maybe I'll take this like mini spatula here and just test to make sure that it's firm enough. It doesn't have to be completely cured, but just firm enough to hold the second layer without the weight of the second layer breaking through. So to go ahead and add the second layer, we're gonna spritz with alcohol. Remember, alcohol always acts as a binder. So we're gonna go ahead and add the second layer. Go ahead and fill that up. And what I usually like to do is spritz my alcohol as I pour. Go. And I have a little bit left over, so let's see if I can just fill the rest of this cavity here. And with that one, I might want to add a few jasmine flowers to the top. Okay, might as well get rid of the rest of these. Add some of these. Add some dimension. So once you've finished pouring, go ahead and do a final spritz of alcohol. Make sure all the bubbles are released. And then we're gonna let this sit. And it needs to sit at least, give it about, in this type of mold, you're gonna at least let it sit for 3 to 4 hours, or let it sit overnight before you pop it out of the mold. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this out tomorrow, and we'll show you the final product. The fun thing about melt and pour soap making is that the sky is the limit on all of the different designs you can choose from. Today we just did one simple type of melt and pour soap, but you could have chosen all different types of designs. You could have chosen different colors, different botanicals, different toys. You don't even have to add those things to it. When you come to our workshop, we have tons of different colors and molds These are some examples of some of the molds you can do, individual molds that you can do. Here's a rose. We've got the kind that have a little bee in it. You can also experiment with the loaf mold, okay? And you might want to experiment with this if you want to graduate to maybe cold process soap making. You can always start with the melt and pour in the soap, in the loaf mold. And we also have different design inspiration for you to choose from. And so this is just really just the start. The sky's the limit. People find our soap making workshop to be one of our most fun workshops. Chloe, you have any last words?
Oh, thank you for joining us, and hope you really enjoy this activity. We hope to see you in our studio soon. Thank you.
Thank you.